Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Sorry for being late. I was doing a workshop for the members of my Patreon in English. Hello, what's up, folks? Sorry, I'm late. I know. Sorry. I should be already streaming, I think. Hello. Can you hear me? There you go. What's up, folks? Welcome back. Hello. From the beautiful city of Charlotte in the beautiful state of North Carolina. There you go. Where are you guys located at? Hello, folks. Welcome back. Sorry for being late. I was doing a workshop with the members of my Discord and Patreon in English. So, yeah, it got late. Yeah, New York. Amanda. Hey, Amanda. Long time no see. Atlanta, Erica, Eileen, Central California, Maryland. Beautiful. Yeah, Maryland is very beautiful. How about Virginia? Yeah, we're close. Yeah. Bay Area, Illinois, Florida, California, Don Carlos. Yeah. Awesome. A bunch of you guys around today. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, and once again, my apologies. I do apologize for being late. It was for a good cause. Cleveland, Ohio. I have a good friend up there in Cleveland. Yeah. My friend Donald. Yeah, North Dakota, San Francisco. Awesome. Please drop a comment down below and let me know what stocks you want me to go over. And let's talk about what happened today in the markets, guys. Today we had some interesting price action taking place. And I don't know, guys. It looks like, from my perspective, I think that this bull market is getting tired. It's getting tired. So far, we've had a lot of companies reporting earnings. Some companies have reported very good earnings, such as Netflix, Sofi. Today killed it. Sofi reported way better than expected. And most stocks go down, guys, regardless of what they are reporting. That's not a good sign, guys. Usually, when we see companies reporting better than expected earnings, but if we see those stocks, or if we see the stocks of those companies going down, that is not a good. That is not very positive for the bulls, guys. Yeah, the rally seems to be a bit tired. I have some important levels that I can point out on the SPY, but take a look at what happened today, guys. So the Russell 2000 went down 0.61%, the Nasdaq down 0.38%, S&P 500 down 0.30%, and the Dow Jones went down 204 points, or 0.46%. If we take a look at the closing of the indices, we can make a case that today we had some sort of negative day, nothing crazy. But take a look at these, guys. Take a look at what happened inside the Russell 2000. Today we had 1,391 stocks going down and only 567 stocks going up. Ugly inside the Russell 2000. If we take a look at the Nasdaq 100, we find also a negative breadth. So more stocks going down than up. So in the case of the Nasdaq 100, we had 52 stocks going down and 49 stocks going up. And in the case of the S&P 500, take a look, we had 247 losers and 254 winners or gainers. But if you take a look at the price action that took place today, most stocks closed this session making lower lows from an intraday perspective. Let me just set an example. Let me pull up a 1 day, 1 minute chart of Sofi. Look. Sofi Technologies. Take a look. Very good report, by the way. And I guess that I will be going over Sofi. Take a look at this. So Sofi went up to $25 on a very good report. We can argue about the valuation and stuff, but the report was very positive, way better than expected. And take a look at how the RIP got sold. Big time today. Let's take a look at AVGO, which was a stock that was trying to go up today. Look. The stock exploded to the upside as soon as the trading session opened. It actually made a brand new all-time highs. And take a look how the RIP got sold. Big time. Take a look at Palo Alto Networks, guys. And by the way, today we got news about Palo Alto Networks, PNW. Look, it exploded to the upside. We got good news, by the way. Good news from a long-term perspective. And the stock collapsed. It collapsed, guys. So today's high for Palo Alto for PNW was $210. So we had an intraday move in the case of Palo Alto of 8%. The RIP got sold. The rally, guys, that started out in April seems to be tired, exhausted. The markets are screaming for a pullback. We need some liquidity to return to the market. So take a look. By the way, I wanted to show you guys the 11 sectors that trade inside the S&P 500. Let's go see. Look at today's breadth, guys. Out of 11 sectors that trade inside the S&P 500, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sectors went down today. And needless to say, take a look at tech in green, guys. Take a look at how the RIP got sold. So the trading session started here. And take a look at today's close. So we gapped higher, but let's say the movement to the upside that we saw today as soon as the trading session opened was sold. Except for, I don't know, real estate. Go figure. In the case of real estate, this sector is inversely correlated to yields, to bond yields, and TLT went up today, so that ended up helping out real estate in order to have a positive session today, up 1.66%. So if we take a look at the SPY, I want to show you something. Take a look at this. And I am not making a bearish case here, mind you, okay? First of all, I really have to emphasize that. So you guys know that I use a lot the 5-day moving average. From a minor time frame standpoint, that's my favorite moving average. So take a look at this, guys. The 5DMA is the white line that I am pointing out with my mouse. I use it in order to determine who is in control of minor time frames. Okay, fair enough. So take a look at what has been happening in the case of the SPY, and you know that we are having, you know, very slow trading sessions with no volatility at all. The VIX, the fear and greed index, is at 15 points or something like that. But take a look at this, guys. Every single low, intraday low that is, has been higher than the previous intraday low. Look, 626. This was on the 22nd. Then what was the low on the 23rd? 629, higher than the previous low. Do you see this? Okay. So the low on the 23rd was 629. What was the low on the 24th? 633, higher than the previous low, and so forth. Take a look. So when we have a phenomenon in which the previous intraday low is lower than the low that any stock is making on any specific trading session, that situation matches with a rising 5-day moving average in white, as I just said. So that implies, guys, that when you have a rising 5-day moving average, the technical chart is under the control of buyers, at least in minor time frames. In the case of the SPY, guys, if we pull up here a 4-hour chart, take a look. This technical chart is under the absolute control of buyers in both minor time frames and major time frames. But today, this is like some sort of light at the end of the tunnel for the bears. The 5DMA was broken to the downside, so good job for the bears over there. And take a look at the low that we made today on the SPY, guys. 634.32. So today's low was actually lower than yesterday's low. This could be starting to signal weakness. And maybe, why not? Some potential downside, at least in the short term. So, in the case of the SPY, and of course the members of my Patreon and you guys for that matter, that keep an eye on the information that I am posting on Christian's Discord. You don't need to be really worried about the SPY because I am always letting you guys know my intraday pivot. But if tomorrow we open the trading session, guys, below this 5 DMA and below today's low, so say that we have I don't know, we open the trading session tomorrow below 634-ish, maybe that could be signaling that we have a bit more of downside here coming up for the SPY, and we need it. We actually need it. By the way, keep in mind that tomorrow, what is going on tomorrow, guys? By the way, let me ask you something. And what important situation for the market is taking place tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? What am I talking about here? While I take a sip of coffee here. It's been a long day for me, huh? What is going on tomorrow, guys? Yes, sir. We have Mr. Money Printing. Yeah, so tomorrow, guys, that has a name, okay? You should memorize it. Tomorrow, we have the Federal Open Market Committee. Yes. So, in the case of tomorrow's Fed's meeting, we already know what is going to happen. The Fed isn't cutting rates. Okay? You guys can figure that once. So we already know that the Fed isn't cutting rates. So once, the Fed decision comes out and stuff like that, and Powell speaks, of course, we're going to have President Trump, insulting Powell and saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, that he knows more about interest rates than Powell, and that he's Mr. Too Late and stuff like that. That could be setting the table for an interesting situation in regard to the US dollar and also in regard to gold, GLD, because if the Dixie goes down, based on that assumption that probably, President Trump is going to be insulting Powell once again, so that could help from a mechanical standpoint GLD to go higher. So that would be an interesting development that could be taking place tomorrow into the closing bell, or once, Trump starts to insult Powell on Truth Social. But aside from that, guys, we already know what is going to happen at 2 p.m. And of course, I am not going to be talking about here. I am not going to be talking about macroeconomic data and stuff like that. So Powell is not cutting rates tomorrow. We already know that. So what is going to be very important tomorrow is going to be the press conference that will kick off at 2:30 p.m. In my opinion, and again, I have been trading the Federal Open Market Committee, or I should say the press conferences of Powell during years, guys. I have been doing it during a long time. So I don't care about whatever Powell says at all. I just keep an eye on the technical charts. I'm thinking that if Powell tomorrow doesn't let us know, I would say in a very concise way, that he's willing to cut rates on the next meeting of the Fed, which is going to be taking place in September, that could be an interesting scenario, guys, tomorrow. And we could have some downsticks, on our way. And I wish for that it would be the case. So keep an eye on this level tomorrow, guys. 5 DMA, 635.50. Today's low. Keep an eye on today's low. Today's low will be very important tomorrow, guys. Very. Why is it? Because this is the first low that we make lower than the previous intraday low. So if the bears want to do something, interesting, they need to defend that level. They have to prevent the bulls from bursting above $634.42. If tomorrow we open at 636.50, 637, scratch that. We're going to have to wait for Powell to see if he can actually, send us some downsticks. Mm-hmm. How much is your English patron? We have 2 tiers. You guys have the link in the description box of this video. if you want to join me. So in the case, guys, I had to, and I'm glad you asked that because I've been telling you. So what is going on? So of course I am an advisor to Christian's community, but guys, in Christian's Discord we are 30,000 people. It's impossible to keep up with your messages. It's impossible. So what happens? I have been running my own Patreon in Spanish during 4 years. And many of you guys were signing up for my Patreon in Spanish. But you don't speak Spanish. So I had to end up reimbursing you the money for the subscription. And I was getting a lot of messages from you guys saying, oh, but we want to be in touch with you during the trading session and ask you questions and stuff like that. And it was impossible because, you don't speak Spanish. So I ended up starting a Patreon in English not long ago, a month and a half ago or so. So if you want to be in touch with me during the trading sessions, you can go ahead and, sign up for my Patreon. So this is our Discord. Let me show you quickly before I start going over some stocks. This is our Discord in English, and I have this channel, Live Alvaro, and I am narrating the trading session pretty much on a, real-time basis over here. And we have a main chat, as you guys can see here. And you guys can ask me whatever you want to ask me during the trading session. This is a luxury that I don't have with Christian's server, guys. It's impossible. We are 30,000 people. Lucky enough. Our community, Christian's community, has grown a lot since I joined. And Chris, that was like 3 years ago. Lucky enough, we're more than 30,000 people. But sometimes when a community is growing a lot, it has its disadvantages. So I cannot be in touch with you guys during the trading sessions, okay? So the link is in the description box of this video. Okay, so what stocks do you want me to go over? Let's see. I want to know. Hood is reporting on Thursday. Did you know that? I can go over Hood, but the technical chart is going to be changing in an important way depending on the reaction of the markets to the report. I gotta tell you guys, and I just said this, and none of you should be gambling on earnings, but so the average reaction to the average earnings report during this new earnings season has been to the downside. So the markets have been going up a lot, or have gone up a lot. So it looks like most of the earnings reports that are coming out were already priced in. Guys, the earnings report of Netflix was a very good one. Very good one. The earnings report of Alphabet was a very good one. Alphabet didn't go down a lot, but it didn't do much. It's like, let me pull up here a 4-hour chart of Alphabet, Google. Yeah, the expected move was $15. The report came out here. Yeah, it is pretty much flat. This was a good report. Needless to say, Sofi, guys, this report was very good. And take a look at what happened with Sofi. It went down. So it went up, but it couldn't hold the gains that were made since the report came out. It went down, guys. The report was good, but it was already priced in. Why is it? Because of this. Take a look. So since April, guys, Sofi has gone up 213%. The report was already priced in. The bar was too high. So in the case of Robinhood, and let me tell you the expected move. Let me pull up here a 4-hour chart of Robinhood. So take a look. This is a good looking chart. So Robinhood, as well as it happened today with the SPY broke today to the downside, the 5 DMA, it closed below the 5-day moving average, $103. In the case of Robinhood, we have an expected move. Let me pull it up here. Let me go to Earnings Whispers. Hood. Okay, so we have an expected move of 10%. So that implies, guys, that Hood, and Hood reports tomorrow, after hours, is going to go either up or down $10. But if we say that Netflix killed it, SoFi killed it, ServiceNow killed it, and all of those stocks went down after the report came out or couldn't go higher, I would say that, I mean, Hood has a very high bar tomorrow. Very high bar, guys. So you don't need to trade Hood the same day that an earnings report is coming out. And by the way, guys, this is something that you should also take in, that you also should realize and should take into consideration before starting a trade with the stock of a company that is about to report earnings. When a company is about to report earnings, the implied volatility goes higher because the markets are expecting an important movement to either the upside or the downside. So you shouldn't be buying either calls or puts of a stock of a company that is about to report earnings in, say, 2 weeks. Because if you do it, that implies that you are paying a very high price for those options. And what happens once an earnings report comes out? The implied volatility goes down. You have an Ivy crush. That's the name. So in the case of Hood, I wouldn't do anything here. You already know that the expected move is $10. Let me pull up here an anchor VWAP that comes from the last earnings report. Sorry, from the April low of Hood. Let me see. So Hood, let me pull up here an anchored volume weighted average price line. I have a lot of them here. Let me delete some. Remove. Hold on. Bear with me here, guys. So if we display an anchor VWAP, guys, that comes from Hood's April's low. So Robinhood went down to $30. Is this right? Hood was at $30 in April? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Well, guys, I would be absolutely amazed if this stock goes up tomorrow, regardless of whatever Hood reports. It could happen. You never know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I don't know. I mean, the bar is extremely high. So take a look at this anchor VWAP. This is an anchored volume weighted average price line that comes from Hood's April's low. So that comes from the lowest price that Hood hit or reached back in April, from April 7th. And take a look at the price that we get here, $70. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we happen to see some sort of market correction or pullback or whatever it is. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Hood paying a visit down to $70. Am I telling you guys to buy puts because Hood is headed to $70? No, I am not saying that. But tomorrow's report will be very interesting. So, what information is this anchor VWAP sending us? Well, that the average market participant that started a position on Robinhood in early April at $30, go figure, as of now has an average price of $70. So this is a potential support zone for Hood in case that, I don't know, maybe the stock, I mean, it is trading at $100. Say that it goes down $10. That would be 90. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see $70. I would say anytime soon. This is possible. Do the upside. Say that, I don't know, Robinhood reports a super way better than expected earnings report. So the all-time highs is at $113. It could be making a brand new all-time highs after hours. If that were the case, we have an expected move of $10, and we don't have important levels of overhead supply or important levels of resistance above the current price of Hood. So I don't know if the reaction is positive. Keep an eye on $114. That's a potential gap to the upside, and Hood could be making, why not, a brand new all-time highs. And if it goes down, guys, $90 could be a potential support zone. So at $90, we have a previous level of support back from early July that acted as such on 2 occasions. So this could be a potential level of support. $90 breaks, and that's a whole different story. But I think that the bar is very high here. And let me see, by the way, how much has Robinhood gone up since early April? Let's go see. 258%, guys. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. Yeah, the bar is too high. I would be amazed and surprised, and it would be very hard for me to believe it. if hood goes up. It can go up, you never know. An earnings support is a coin flip, but wow. So the bar is very high here, and it is reporting earnings tomorrow. So don't do anything with hood tomorrow. Yeah. Hood robbed me today because I didn't place my limit order. I just hit sell like a newbie. You have to be careful with limit orders in the case of hood, especially with options. You have to be careful. Yeah, very careful. AMD, Advanced Money, former Advanced Money Destroyer. Now it is Advanced Micro Devices. So AMD has been going on a tear, guys. I gotta tell you something. If, and this is not a prediction, okay, in any shape, form, or fashion, if we are going to see a correction in the markets, at least a tiny one, guys, say a 5% correction, the burst will have to come for AMD and NVIDIA. So if you have gains on AMD, and that is my case, I have 200 shares at an average price of $130, you have to either sell covered calls or you have to be ready to see lower prices in the case of AMD. Can it keep going higher? Yes, it can. Of course. This is a crude uptrend, guys. I mean, we can make a case that this push to the upside of AMD is a bit extended. I use the 20-day moving average, guys, in order to try to figure out if we have some potential situation of overextension to either the upside or the downside. So if any given stock is above or below more than 20% relative to its 20-day moving average, I would say that that stock is a bit extended, or that the movement that we are seeing through either the upside or the downside is a bit extended. So in the case of AMD, guys, this stock is trading 16% above its 20-day moving average. So I wouldn't be chasing it here. I would be waiting for a pullback down to the 5-day moving average. And 168, this could be a potential support zone. Say that 168 breaks, I would be keeping an eye on this former higher high and previous also 52-week high for AMD near $163. So this is a clear uptrend. What happens in uptrends, guys, is that usually, or the vast majority of the time, I would say, pullbacks end up being bought up. So don't chase it here. I would be interested in maybe buying a pullback down to the rising 5 DMA or down to $163. And guys, if you remember, if you have been watching my live streams, what did I say about AMD a few weeks ago relative to an anchored volume weighted average price line that comes from all-time highs? If you remember, I told you, take a look. Take a look at this white line. This is an anchored volume weighted average price line that comes from all-time highs for AMD. So AMD reached $226 back in early March of 2024. This was in March of last year. Take a look at the white line. I told you guys a few weeks ago, I was streaming for you, and I said, I remember this to the penny. I told you, if AMD can consolidate above this anchor VWAP, I think that this stock is about to make a major breakout to the upside. But why did I say that, guys? Well, because take a look at how buyers were not able during 1 year, guys, to consolidate above this anchor VWAP. Look, they failed over here. This was in May of 2024. They failed in July of last year. They failed once again in October of last year. And more recently, they failed in late June of this year. So what message was this anchor VWAP sending us, guys? Well, that the average market participant that started a position on AMD at $224 at its highest price ever was capitulating. This was capitulation. Take a look. Over here. So the second they saw their positions breaking even, they were breaking even. Look. Over and over again. Capitulation across the board. And I told you, if this time around they don't capitulate, they can sustain price above this anchor VWAP. This could represent a potential major breakout to the upside for AMD. And lo and behold, take a look at where AMD is trading as of now. So since this was a major breakout area, guys, 142, say that we have, I don't know, I am knocking on wood. Say that we have a correction in the markets, 5%, 10%. Say that the bears finally come for the semiconductor stocks, the Broadcoms of the world, and the AMDs of the world, and the NVIDIAs of the world. I would be, in regular market conditions, a buyer of AMD at this anchor VWAP. So now these market participants that were selling out of their positions on AMD, and they did it over and over and over again since last year. So they went or they turned from a supply zone from which AMD was pulling back on a consistent basis. Now they turned into a potential demand zone. So they were sellers, and now they might be buyers, guys, at 141. This is a very interesting spot for AMD to the downside if we happen to see a tiny correction, guys, down to 140. That would represent, if say that AMD goes down to 140, that would be a what? I mean, this would be a 30% correction. I mean, this would be a very nice correction. Okay. In my case, guys, when I want to buy the dip on an uptrend, in the case of AMD, so the level that I like to see in order to buy a profit-taking type of situation or a pullback on an uptrend is the 5-day moving average coinciding with a previous higher high. So the 5 DMA is above this previous higher high, but this is a very fast moving average. So if AMD starts to pull back, I think that we could see the 5 DMA going down a bit, and why not? We could have the convergence of the 5 DMA at 165 or coinciding with a previous higher high. So 165 could be an interesting spot in order to buy a tiny pullback here in the case of AMD. Other than that, this technical chart looks very good. And now let me take a look at the market structure of former advanced money destroyer, AMD. Let's go see. 5:16 p.m. in the East Coast of the United States of America. Let's go see AMD. So this is a market structure chart. And what you guys can see on top is the demand of a stock, so buyers, and at the bottom, the supply. Demand buyers, supply sellers. Take a look at the supply. The supply collapsed, guys. There are no sellers in minor time frames. And the demand is starting to go down, but the level of the demand is way higher relative to the level of the supply. So this is a good-looking market structure chart that makes me believe that in, regular market conditions, a pullback down to 163 could be a buy the dip opportunity. And don't chase it here, guys. I don't short stocks that are making 52-week highs, but I don't chase them either. The anchor VWAP, very useful technical indicator. Okay, what else do we have here, guys? You guys are asking about Casco. Yeah, let's go over Casco. I like it. Who of you guys is shopping at Casco? I shop at Casco every single Sunday. Yeah, I am a very loyal Casco customer. Yeah. Okay, so flat today, pretty much closed the trading session at $934.57, guys. There's zero reason to buy Casco here, and you know that I am not a trader of downtrends. For the most part, I would say that 95% of my trading occurs on uptrending stocks. So take a look at Casco, guys. Below the 50, the 100, the 20, the 200, and more importantly, below a downward sloping 5 DMA, 5-day moving average. So this is not a chart that I am interested in, okay, by any stretch of the imagination. If you want to do some, bottom picking here, keep an eye on the 5 DMA, 5-day moving average. So the bulls were able to close, I think, is it above? Yeah, it is above the 5 DMA after hours, pretty much at the 5 DMA. Take a look at this, guys. Let's focus on the white line. Take a look at this. Yeah, from a long-term perspective too, this is a phenomenal company. 100%. 100%. Yeah, the valuation is a bit expensive, but that's not what we are talking about here. So take a look at the 5DMA, guys. 5-day moving average. So what information is this moving average showing us, guys? It is showing us the average price of Casco during the last 5 trading sessions. Easy peasy. Resistance, 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 resistance. Can the 5DMA act now as support? Guys, let's count. Let's count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trading sessions without being able to close one single trading sessions out of the last 9 trading sessions above the 5DMA. What does that imply, guys? From a practical standpoint, from an analytical standpoint, that there's no conviction here on buyers. So the average market participant that is starting positions on Casco from an intraday basis is closing those positions quickly. Why is it? Because this is a stock, this is a downtrending stock. There is no conviction. So yeah, I start a trade on Casco, it goes in my favor, and I take my money quickly and run. That is the message of a downward sloping 5DMA. No conviction in minor time frames. And if we zoom out, take a look at a 4-hour chart, this is a major downtrend. So if I were any of you guys, and I mean, sometimes, guys, there are some exceptions to the rule, because I am posting on Discord unusual options alerts, both calls and puts. So say that I get an unusual call option alert on Casco. So someone invested $1 million on Casco calls that expire next year or something like that. A bullish call option alert. So that would make me be a bit interested in this technical chart. But for me, because I would be having an unusual call option alert. For me to start a position in Casco, I need to see 1 or 2 days of consolidation above the 5DMA. If that were to happen, that would be implying that buyers are starting to step in this technical chart. Be careful, guys. This is a major downtrend, not a good-looking chart. So maybe above $935, buyers could be starting to step in. And now I am curious, guys, about an anchor VWAP from April's low in the case of Casco. Let's go see. Casco. Let me see. Remove. So April's low for Casco was $871. Let me display an anchor VWAP from that low. So from April 4th. Take a look at the price that I have, guys. $980. No, that's a daily moving average, Carlos. Daily SMA. 2 days. It's not an exponential moving average, guys. Be careful, because you guys, more often than not, don't know what moving averages you're using. Those moving averages that you use, exponential and simple moving averages, are a whole different story, because the price that those moving averages signal change depending on the time frame. The moving averages that I use are daily moving averages, so they show the same information regardless of the time frame. It's a whole different story. I can explain to you that in detail in my Discord. Yeah. Okay. Take a look at this, guys. If we take a look at an anchor VWAP in the case of Casco from April's low, so if we say that the average market participant that started a position in Casco at $870 in April, as of now has an average price of $980, what does that imply, guys? Again, let's try to think about this from a logical standpoint. if I told you guys that I am sure that the average market participant, that I have a technical indicator that is letting me know that the average market participant that started a position in Casco in early April, when Casco went down to $870, as of now has an average price of $980, what does that imply? Bingo! They are under the water. They are losing money. So, Sue, what would you do if you're holding the bag on Casco at $980? What would you do whenever Casco goes up once again to 980? You would be closing your position more likely than not. If we are talking about a trade. So what does that imply? That this stock has a lot of overhead supply. That's why I don't trend. So that's why I don't trade downtrending stocks, guys, because of the overhead supply. Because I have a lot of buyers trapped all over the place. And that increases the likelihood for any given stock to pull back on its way up. If you happen to start let's say a favorable position at a lower price on a downtrending stock. That's why I don't trade downtrends. On the case of Casco, be careful, guys. A lot of overhead supply here. This is bag holder central. And I don't know, maybe if it, holds 936 as support and the 5 DMA starts to rise, there could be maybe a trade on Casco. Who knows? Sure. Okay, what other stock? Super microcomputer. I'm glad you brought it up. SMCI. Let's go see. A very good looking chart. I mean, taking into account that this company could be a fraud. Goes down today 2.36% and closed the trading session at $58. Guys, it is a good looking chart above all the moving averages. 200, 100, 50, 20, and we can also see here a rising 5 DMA. So I just told you that in the case of uptrends, and if I don't want to chase, and I never chase, guys, stocks that are making a brand new 52-week high, which I think is the case of Supermicro. Is it? No, not yet, but it's a bit extended relative to its 20-day moving average. So I wouldn't chase it here necessarily. I would wait for a pullback down to the 5 DMA. So take a look at how, if the 5 DMA pulls back a bit, which could happen if we see a bit of profit taking on Supermicro. The 5 DMA in white is signaling as of now $55. Say that it pulls back a bit down to $54.27. This is perfectly possible because this is a very fast moving average. So if the 5 DMA happens to signal $54.20-ish, it would be coinciding with a previous level of resistance that was also a previous higher high for Super Microcomputer. This would be a level in which I could be potentially interested in buying a pullback in the case of Super Microcomputer. This is a very good looking chart. I wouldn't be chasing it here. And take a look at these guys. And circling back to Anchor VWAPs. Look at this. This was a very bullish development that we had recently on Supermicro. Take a look at this. Let's focus on the white line, guys. And let me remove all of these Anchor VWAPs. They are no longer significant. Look. This could be very bullish for SMCI. So take a look at this anchored volume weighted average price line. Where is it coming from, guys? If you are seeing the technical chart, and you should. Yeah. Where is it coming from? Take a look. And excuse me. This should be a beer, guys. I'm super tired, but it is a fucking Sprite, whatever. I will be grabbing a beer soon. Okay. So what is this? This is an AVWAP that comes from all-time highs, guys. So the same analysis that I just told you guys about AMD applies for Supermicro. Look, resistance, 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 and now take a look at how finally the bulls of Supermicro Computer were able to prevent the average market participant that started positions on Supermicro computer from all-time highs from selling out of their positions when they saw their positions breaking even. Look. This is very bullish, $54.25. In the case of a pullback, this is a potential level of demand rather than supply. 54 bucks. Let me see. Take a look. Pretty much the same level that I am telling you guys about. The 5 DMA potentially coinciding with the previous level of resistance, and those $54 would be coinciding with that anchor VWAP that comes from all-time highs. So in regular market conditions, especially if the markets keep melting out, the SPY and the Qs and stuff, 54 bucks could be an interesting level in order to buy the dip on Supermicro. Let's go see the market structure of SMCI, demand and supply. Let's go see. And we are 46 minutes in. How about that, huh? Awesome. Look, the market structure isn't looking good. Look, the demand is going down and the supply is starting to rise. This market structure, despite the fact that Supermicro is still trading above a rising 5 DMA, could be signaling that we are about to see profit taken here because the demand is going down. So ideally, when we take a look at a market structure chart, we want to see the demand rising and the supply going down. This is exactly the opposite. The demand is going down and the supply is starting to rise. So I wouldn't say Supermicro here, and I would be curious about potential support near $54. Why Sofi pulled back? Because the report was already priced in. Wow, it just hit 21 bucks. Jesus, it is getting killed. It is getting annihilated after hours. Are they diluting or something? Wow, guys, take a look at the pullback of Sofi. Jesus Christ. I was waiting for $21.20. It just hit my target. Yes, it did. Yep, it did. And I told you guys that I was a buyer of Sofi at 21 bucks. Take a look at these guys. So the gains that were made after the report came out are gone. Unbelievable. Do you buy after hours? Yeah, you can buy after hours. The gains are gone. Unbelievable. Absolutely gone. So Sofi was trading at $21.20 when the report came out. And by the way, Amanda, you were asking me about Sofi. So Amanda, guys, Amanda Lynn Burton, she's a member of our Discord in English. What did I tell you? Amanda, do you remember when Sofi was at 25 bucks? I told her, if I were you, I would be locking in the profit. And I have proof of it. Let me take a look at the main chat because she asked me about Sofi earlier on today. So take a look. Amanda, what is Amanda at? Let me see. And you closed a winning position, so good for you. Would you say it or no? Let me see what I the SPY. Let me see. I have proved it. And I told you, if I were you, I would be locking in the profit. The report was already priced in, guys. Let me see. Take a look at how active, guys, I am in my Discord, in our main chat. So, did you lock in the profit, Amanda? Yes, Alvaro. You helped me make money today. So, you asked. I mean, I don't find we have too many conversations over here, but actually, when we turn to Zero Call, yes, you can. If you want to keep your shares, I have it here, I think. Let me see. What is it at? Come on. Thank you. Take a look, guys. 10:21 a.m. This was today in our Discord. So Amanda was asking me about Sofi because she took some profit. And I told her at 10:21 a.m., I think Sofi at these levels is fully priced. Maybe you can re-enter on a pullback. So my crystal ball is killing it. And the proof is in the pudding, guys. And I think that I told you Take a look. If I were you, I would lock in the profit entirely here at $25. So this ended up being a good call out, Amanda. Take a look. 10:21 a.m. I mean, and you know what, guys? Let me grab some shares of Sofi here, live. Yeah, I am going to grab. Let me grab. How many? 150 shares. Yeah. Trade alert. I am buying the dip here. With this portfolio, by the way, this is not the portfolio that I use for my trading, but since I am live with you guys, yeah, I'm buying the dip here. Oh, sorry, I need to set a. Sorry. No, I need to set a. Let me delete the order. Yeah, this is a market order. I need to set a. There you go. I need to set a limit order here. So hold on. I am buying the dip on Sofi live. 150 limit. This is a limit. GDC extend. There you go. I just purchased 150 shares of Sofi, guys. I am buying the dip. Yeah, the report was very good. Yeah, I just purchased 150 shares of Sofi at $21. How about that, eh? So the report was already priced in. Why am I buying 150 shares of Sofi here, guys? First of all, because the report was very good, and because near $21, I have a rising 20-day moving average. Look, it is rising. It is potentially pushing price up. $20.68. It is a small position, okay, given the size of my portfolio. But this is the pullback that I was looking for. And I told Amanda, if you had gains, guys, at $25, taking into account that Sofi went up like 250% since April, you had to lock in the profit. Yeah, and that's what I told Amanda to do. Yeah, so I just purchased a trade alert. Now, this is not financial advice, at least not for those who are not members of my Patreon. So in the case of Sofi, wow, unbelievable. The movement after hours is nothing short of extraordinary, guys. So the 20 DMA is upward sloping, so it could sustain price as support. If Sofi keeps pulling back, I might be adding more shares at $18.40. This is a previous resistance back from late June. There you go. So I would be adding more shares at $18.40. And guys, I gotta tell you, full disclosure, I told my guys today in Discord that I was a buyer of this dip on Sofi. I told them let's wait for 21.20, and that's what I did. Look, I posted this in my Discord at 2:48 a.m. Take a look, a guy falling off a cliff, and I said, Sofi, I am buying this dip at 21.20, and I'm doing it. If it dips further, I could be adding more shares at $18.36. Maybe. It is getting annihilated, guys. Unbelievable. After hours. So the report was very good, but it was already priced in. That's it. The markets already knew that the report was going to come out, better than expected. That's it. It got annihilated. That's it. Yep. If say that Sofi tomorrow opens slightly above the 20 DMA, and I notice that the 20 DMA is about to be broken into the downside, I could be selling a covered call here. All right, what other stock you guys want me to go over? Can you take a look at Meta? Meta is reporting tomorrow, Aisha. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Look, let's go and take a look at Meta. Hey, well, let me tell the guy. I need to report this trade, guys. So, I'll do it when I'm done streaming. Okay. So, don't trade Meta tomorrow, please. This is going to be a roller coaster ride. So take a look. The expected move is 6.2%. Meta reports tomorrow at 4:05 p.m. So we have an expected move of 6%. That would represent, long story short, wow. This is a $50 movement, guys, to either the upside or the downside. If you know that this stock is going to go either up or down tomorrow, $50, after hours, you cannot trade the sticker. You gotta wait. And let's see what the reports say. I think, this is my personal opinion, guys. I think that this company is going to kill it tomorrow. That's my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt, okay? I think that the report is going to come out way better than expected. Meta is up from early April, 50%, unbelievable. Taking into account that this is a $1 trillion market cap company. So Meta is going to have to, report extremely better than expected for the markets to award this company with, higher prices. But I think that a pullback could be end up being bought up. So, but out of the magnificent 7 stocks, guys, I think this company is going to be the one that is going to, post the best earnings report out of the bunch. So, we have an expected move of $50. So I don't know if it goes up. Who knows? Maybe that is the case. It is going to be making a brand new 52-week high. And to the downside, guys, we have an expected move of $50. I will be keeping an eye on the 100 DMA, $637. And I would also keep an eye, guys, on the anchor VWAP that comes from the April's low for Meta. Say that it gets killed once a report comes out. Let me see. Meta platforms. This is a previous all-time high, so let's delete it, remove it, and let me remove this as well. So if we display an anchor VWAP from $480, which was April's low, we get an average price of $648, guys. This is a very interesting level for Meta, guys, from a technical standpoint. Oh, Sofi is diluting. That's the reason why they are diluting. Sofi is diluting. They are diluting. That's why it's going down like this. Yeah, they are diluting. How much? $1.5 billion. Okay, so that's the reason why Sofi is getting annihilated, guys, after hours. Yeah. There's a public offering of common stock. Yeah, $1.5 billion. What's the market cap of Sofi as of today's close? Let's go see. Sofi. Is it a big dilution? It sounds like a big dilution. Yeah. I should cut the loss. $23 billion. No, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. $1.5 billion out of $23.2 billion. It's not a big deal. Yeah. They're raising money. The company has been paying their debt, which is positive. The report was very good. They keep diluting, guys. This is a company that is diluting on a consistent basis. Take a look. Take a look at the shares outstanding of Sofi. They are going ballistic. But this has so the fact that they've been diluting in a very consistent way has been positive for the company because the company is growing, in a very steady way. We have more members, quarter over quarter. And take a look at this, guys. This was a company that used to have more debt than cash, and as of now, Sofi has a cash position of $4.5 billion and no long-term debt. So what does that mean? They are diluting. They are issuing new shares in order to raise cash, Stacy. So say that you have a pie. This is. You guys should know what a dilution means. Say that you have a pie. Okay? Say that you have a pie. And you have a little piece of that pie. Okay? So the little piece of the pie that you own, let's say that those are the shares of the company that you have. If the pie becomes larger, the little piece of the pie that you own loses value. Does it make sense? So the amount of shares that are publicly traded for Sofi is going up and up and up and up. They are raising capital. But so far so good. Yeah. They have no debt. They used to have more debt than cash. The company is growing at a steady pace. So that's a reason why the stock got killed. It isn't a big dilution, but well, whatever. It's okay. There you go. Meta did okay. I will take a look before I read the news about Sofi. So say that Meta gets annihilated today. Keep an eye on 647. Why is it? Because at $647, we know that we have a lot of buyers or a lot of market participants that started positions on Meta from April 21st. On April 21st, Meta was trading at $487. So those market participants, as of now, they believe that they are killing it, that they have a very, profit, and they do actually, that they have a very nice position in Meta because they have an average price of $647. So if Meta tomorrow, after posting earnings or after reporting, pays a visit down to those buyers or down to the level at which those buyers are located at as of now, $650, those buyers could be defending price $650. Yeah. There you go. That's an interesting level for Meta. Okay, any other question? Let's go see. Oklo. Yeah, that's another stock that got killed today. Let's go see Oklo. Let me take a look at the time. An hour and 2 minutes. Yeah. Oklo. So profit taking today. The 5 DMA was broken to the downside, and as of now, the bulls are trying to find support right at a previous level of resistance, guys, $70. I don't like the fact that buyers couldn't defend the 5 DMA today. Low conviction here, guys. Let me pull up a 1 day, 1 minute chart. Take a look. So the 5 DMA wasn't held as support into the closing bell. So in my opinion, a no touch below $72. And take a look at the level, guys. Take a look at this line. It bounced off this previous level of resistance to the penny. Look, $71. It bounced off that level. The buyers, take a look at this, guys. So the stock got killed. Let's try to think about this stock from a logical standpoint. The stock got annihilated, lower highs, lower lows. The buyers stepped in at a potential level of support, $70. This was a previous level of resistance. So Oklo bounced off that level, and the buyers tried to hold the 5 DMA as support into the closing bell, but they couldn't do it. And Oklo ended up closing the trading session below the 5 DMA. So as of now, the 5 DMA at $72.80 is more important than this previous level of resistance that today acted as support. So I wouldn't be a buyer of Oklo tomorrow at $71 because the buyers were not able to defend the 5 DMA. So this is an important level of resistance in tomorrow's trading session. Ideally, I want to see Oklo recapturing the 5 DMA and consolidating and being able to consolidate above $73. If that were the case, we could maybe see buyers stepping in, and why not? We could see maybe Oklo back at $76 or something like that. If this previous level of resistance that today acted as support doesn't act as support tomorrow, I would be keeping an eye on the 20-day moving average, guys. $62 approximately. The 20 DMA is rising. This is not such a fast moving average relative to the 5. So say that Oklo gets annihilated tomorrow once again, this 50 DMA will still be rising. So I would be expecting support on Oklo near $62. Yep. Let me take a look at the market structure of Oklo. Let's go see. Oklo. Come on, help me out, market structure. Wow, the market structure looks phenomenal, guys. Take a look at this. Remember, on top of this chart, you can see the demand, buyers, and at the bottom, supply sellers. The demand is through the roof. Unbelievable. The supply it is trying to rise little by little, but scratch that, guys. The level of the demand far exceeds the level of the supply. So, yeah, the 5 DMA is recaptured, and I think that with that very good looking market structure chart, this technical chart could be attracting buyers into it. Yep. TESI. Let's go see TESI. Well, it's been a long day over here, guys. Yep. Down today 1.35%. I think that we got bad news on every single robo-taxi stock out there. I heard something into the closing bell. So Lyft got killed. Uber got killed. TESI got killed. Because there is going to be some sort of service to every single airport, special service to every single airport in the US. I heard something like that. Don't quote me on that. So a bit of profit taken here. TESI broke today to the downside, the 50 DMA and the 200 and the 5 DMA. So ideally, we want to see buyers stepping in here and being able to recapture the 50-day moving average that as of now is signaling $325. A potential process of consolidation of TESI above 325 could be potentially attracting buyers into this technical chart, and we could see a test of $340, which is a level at which Tesla has failed on 2 occasions recently. So say that you see TESI closing candles above 326 without the indices getting killed. Of course, this is an important stock in both the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500. So you shouldn't be trading Tesla, to the long side if the SPY is pulling back. So in normal market conditions, Tesla consolidates above 325. Maybe we could see a test of 339. Yeah, previous level of resistance. Why not? I think that in the case of Tesla, we have an interesting anchor VWAP or an interesting anchored volume weighted average price line. Let me see. TESI, TSLA, Tesla, and yes, we have. Take a look. So, an anchored volume weighted average price line that comes from all-time highs of Tesla, guys. So Tesla went up to $486. Jesus Christ. $486. This was back in December of last year. So the average market participant that started a position on TESI at $485 has an average price as of now of $316. What level did Tesla found support at yesterday, guys? Look, let me pull up here a 5-day, 5-minute. How about $316? So that anchor VWAP acted as support yesterday to the penny. And that anchor VWAP at $316 approximately, $313, is coinciding with the 20-day moving average here in pink. So say the Tesla breaks the 200 and the 5 DMA to the downside 320, 315 could be a potential level for a bounce. And since I don't like to trade downtrending stocks, I would rather see in Tesla above 325, above the 50 DMA. If that were to happen, Tesla would be trading above all the moving averages. And that is a bullish situation that could be attracting buyers into this technical chart. If we take a look at the market structure of good old TESI, what do we see here? Let's go see TESI. TESI, TSLA. There you go. The market structure is looking good. So the demand is going down. Demand buyers, supply sellers. The demand is going down, but the supply is also going down. So we didn't have an imbalance, a very strong imbalance in favor of sellers relative to buyers from a market structure standpoint. So we cannot make a bearish case based on the market structure chart. So above 325, the chart looks bullish, and I would be curious about another retest of the anchor VWAP that comes from all-time highs at $314. Guys, I have to wrap it up. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. We are an hour and 10 minutes in. So keep in mind that on Thursdays, I am doing a podcast with a with a member of our Discord in English, my good friend Donald Foiani. And there's a lot of value, guys. Yeah, in that podcast, we are reviewing stocks from a financial standpoint, fundamental standpoint, but also technical standpoint. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do it. And keep an eye on the podcast that is coming out on Thursday. Sure. And thank you very much. It's been a long day. Yeah. I'm going to go for a walk, I think. Yeah. I need to clear my senses after having backed 150 shares of Sofi. And I am already holding the bag. I didn't know they diluted. Yeah. I mean, I was looking. I wanted to buy shares at 21.20, so I did it. I ended up doing it. It's okay. It's a small position. Thank you, guys. And I will see you guys on both Discords, on both servers tomorrow. Christian's and mine as well. So enjoy the rest of your day. And do not trade downtrending stocks, please. What time is the podcast? We are releasing it at around 6 p.m. Yeah. Yeah. Take care, guys. See you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. God bless you guys. Bye.